Choso struggles to keep up with the speed of Naoya, who uses his basic pitch version of projection sorcery to dart around and hit Choso with a hard punch to his guts. Reeling from the attack, Choso tells himself that he has no clue what kind of curse technique Naoya is using, and that he most likely won't reveal it since he is winning so easily. Naoya continues to overwhelm our boy with strikes, while Choso comments that convergence isn't a viable option since he can't even control the blood outside of his own body. Mr. Big Bad Zenin then compliments him on his strength while asking exactly who he is. Choso, in typical big bro fashion, confidently says that he is the oldest of 10 siblings before suddenly using the awed over, flowing red scales stack, changing the markings on his face and causing new ones to appear. By the way, the reason this technique literally shits all over Kamo's new one is because Big Choso has improved on the basic version and pretty much made his own, kind of like what other characters do with barriers and their own abilities throughout the, world. After Choso says that he is the oldest of the 10 siblings, Naoya clarifies that he's asking about his curse technique and toughness, suddenly disappearing from Choso's view. Choso notices a blur beside him though, and quickly turns to face the incredibly fast Naoya, who realizes that Choso has focused flowing red scale in the muscle of his eyes to raise their sharpness so that he can adjust to his speed. However, Naoya easily counters Choso's counter, striking him in the stomach and saying that he always assumes someone will counter him first. As Choso recovers from the strike, blood suddenly begins to pour from an open wound in his chest. Naoya reveals that he decided to use a knife to effect his blood manipulation, asking him how long he can continue to fight in that condition. Oh boy, Naoya kinda messed up here with just one damn thing. He disrespected his younger siblings and doesn't even truly realize what Choso is as well. I can't even believe that at this point. Choso looks like a pale zombie. Anyway, Choso commends his plan while Naoya continues talking about how using hidden weapons isn't considered cool. He adds that many do carry them around and are often dependent on them, saying that the way in which his older brothers show off their weapons is pathetic, and how he was always disgusted at the fact they feared Toji. Choso mentions Naoya's dislike for his brothers, and Naoya says that the older brothers who are weaker than their younger brothers should just hang themselves and die, since they are pointless. Which is so freaking wild, man. This guy's mind is so damn broken at this point. He needs help, man. Someone help him. Choso replies that Naoya may be the way he is now because of his brothers and the way they treated him, to which Naoya scoffs at Choso's cliche reasoning. Big Bro Choso continues by saying that regardless of their strength, older brothers are role models and give their younger brothers the chance to avoid the mistakes that they make themselves or to follow behind them if they go down the right path. He asks Naoya to consider the possibility that he is strong only because his older brothers are weak. Choso then reveals that he is strong because he had no one older to guide him, forcing him to face his own mistakes and continue walking ahead of his younger brothers. As the blood from Choso's wound pools at his feet and begins to billow away from him, Naoya backs up and wonders how can he survive after so much blood loss. It's then finally explained that death paintings have blood mixed from cursed spirits and humans, allowing them to not die from blood loss since they can convert cursed energy back into blood. Choso then raises a wall of blood, which causes Naoya to lose sight of him. However, a slower, slicing exorcism attack comes shooting out of the blood, which Naoya easily ducks below, and comes to the conclusion that Choso is finally dying from the blood loss. However, Choso suddenly appears several feet to the left of Mr. Misogyny and fires a piercing blood shot which he barely dodges, but quickly understands that he can't make contact with. With the wall of blood still flowing toward him, Naoya barely blocks a kick from Choso and finds that some of the blood has actually stained his Akama. He wonders if the blood now covering him is also affecting his movement. Opposite him, and standing tall, Choso prepares to fire another piercing blood shot as blood hovers around him, almost mimicking the Wing King ability that Iso had possessed. He tells Naoya that he knows what comes next and that now it's checkmate. Naoya remains confident and tells himself that he can still move despite the binding effect. He tells Choso to go ahead and fire, but as he dashes towards him, he has a moment of hesitation where he wonders why Choso isn't releasing the attack. It's then explained in a typical cutaway anime manga style that the move Choso would use was his own. So you all know a fuck off ability is about to go off, created after he honed his technique for 150 years. Choso then releases a supernova attack, causing a large orb of blood to shoot out in several directions and strike all over the entirety of Naoya's body, leaving him utterly finished. Choso apologizes and says that he lost because he didn't love his brothers. However, behind Choso, Yuta suddenly appears dragging an unconscious Yuji by his hoodie. Choso tries to react, but Yuta effortlessly strikes him in the side of the face, which in turn knocks him straight to the ground. As Naoya looks up, Yuta says in what feels like a damn degrading tone that he seems to be hurt. Like, oh, you okay down there, little Naoya, man? You seem a little bit hurt.